Now, when most of us think of skiing, we have chairlifts, gondolas, and a lodge in mind. But thrill seekers have ventured to Mount Washington for decades. These days, more people are skiing it in the middle of winter, which is prime avalanche season. And that risk came to a head Friday afternoon when a skier was caught in one and survived. News Center Maine meteorologist Ryan Breton explains.
He went the full length of the gully, almost 800 feet, lost his skis and poles, and ended up partially buried.
Frank Harris, director of the Mount Washington Avalanche Center, speaking about the man involved in Friday's avalanche. Already 5 incidents requiring response this year.
Fortunately, he was able to lift his head out of the snow because his head was shallowly buried. The rest of his body was 2 feet or more deep. He could not get himself out.
It was small by avalanche standards, but it doesn't take much.
So that's what happens in an avalanche.
The center is the oldest in the country, aiming to educate and inform hikers and skiers, collaborating with organizations including the National Weather Service and Mount Washington Observatory to produce forecasts and warnings.
You can imagine the snow in your driveway is really light and airy when it's laying there, and as soon as the plow guy pushes it to the end of the driveway, it's like concrete.
Mount Washington, often called home of the world's worst weather, while only 6,288 feet up, is an environment that requires attention and respect.
The folks that live around the valley that have climbed Mount Everest often joke that, they didn't climb Mount Washington to train for Mount Everest. They climb Mount Everest to train for the weather conditions that they encounter on Mount Washington.
And that means those hitting the backcountry should always understand the risk.
And it's really important that people remember to ski the conditions and not the calendar. Just because you have a day off doesn't mean that conditions are really going to be safe.
The skier involved in Friday's avalanche did not have the proper safety gear. If attempting to climb, a beacon, avalanche shovel, and probe are all recommended. If you want to check out the avalanche forecast, you can go to our website and mobile app. I'm meteorologist Ryan Breton, News Center, Maine.